Hello, this is Justice and Wealth again. I know I haven't uploaded anything in a while. There wasn't really anything that I wanted to cover. I am aware of the lawsuit that's going on. I am going to touch upon that a little bit later in this video. What really prompted me to make this particular video, though, is something that Adam Aron said, or some things that he has said recently. And this is about his thoughts on the synthetic shares. I am going to basically cover what he has said and analyze what he could be thinking or what kind of situation that would prompt him to say these things and what it could mean for us retail investors. I found this on Mike the Marine's YouTube channel. I'm going to be playing his video in a second. And by the way, none of this is financial advice.
Synthetic shares, obviously
There
we're
are
on the
no
threshold.
synthetic shares.
Huh?
There are no synthetic shares. You're all lying to yourself. You know how I know? If there were billions of shares that were voting in this election,
You would see them?
yeah, they're not voting. If you guys are right that there are 4 billion shares, then the holders of the 3.5 billion shares would have said, "Where's my 8?"
Right.
How many complaints do you think we got?
I would say at least 100,000.
None. Zero.
None? Nobody
None.
complained to
Not
you
one.
directly.
No, they didn't complain to anybody. None. Zero.
Complaint?
Zero. There are no synthetic shares.
What about?
You'll find out on Tuesday whether we have more votes coming in than we have shares outstanding or fewer votes coming in than we have shares outstanding. Which comes back to where you're going with all this. Looking for all over the place where they don't exist. And you don't want to hear that. And a lot of people who believe what you believe don't want to hear that. But Robert, it's 1 a.m. and you don't know what you're talking about. You're just wrong. You're
Across
just
the board.
wrong. Across the board. There are no synthetic shares.
I have a hard time believing that based on
Yes, I obviously know that. But if there were synthetic shares, if there were billions of shares out there, then when we issued a free 8 that was worth $7 or $8 to every single shareholder of AMC, why would nobody say, "Where's mine"? Nobody, not one, zero.
Why?
And you probably don't want to listen to this because this is going to blow your whole mind and your whole theory and your whole organization of thoughts about synthetic shares and naked shorting and manipulated markets and Morgan Stanley this and all this stuff. And on top of that, it's only one thing. And you're asking me about theories that are ludicrous. You don't want to hear it, but they're ludicrous. Antara was fabulous for this company, not bad for this company. You're convinced there's synthetic shares? There aren't any.
So basically, in this video, Adam Aron basically says that synthetic shares do not exist. Now, there is a reason he says this, and there are a wide variety of reasons why he may, admit this or say it like this, or there's a lot of ways to speculate, and I'm going to go over each of these different, I guess you could say, branching paths. So, the first one I'm going to cover is basically Occam's razor. He's genuinely not aware. He genuinely believes what he's saying. Everything's just lining up with his character, etc., etc. As a CEO, you are very busy, right? You can't keep track of everything that's going on. And because of this, you have to delegate a lot of things. He has people looking into this. He has people on his legal team. He has people on his financing team. He has people that's watching the stocks, watching FINRA, watching the DTCC, etc., etc. So he may have people that he has hired to do the work that he needs them to do, and they could just be misleading him. It could just be as simple as that. Either maliciously, or maybe the staff's just not competent. Maybe, maybe it could be a mix of both. Donald Trump, he had a lot of people on his team when he was president, and a lot of them were messing up. A lot of them were going against him. A lot of them, you can arguably say they were sabotaging his campaign. There's a lot of things that I disagree with Donald Trump when it came to, his picks for a lot of the positions that he has selected these people for. But he has reasons for that as well. And I'm sure Adam Aron has the reasons why he has selected the people that he has to be part of his team. So, of course, obviously there are problems with this theory, and there are problems with all the other theories I'm going to cover as well. Basically, the proof is right there. 40 million FTDs on day one of the ape issuance. That right there is reason for suspicion on its own. That should just be a cold-cut case right there, in my opinion. But, hey, some people are just not willing to obey their eyes. But if that's not enough for you, there's a lot of people in the EU that haven't gotten their ape for weeks. And Adam Aron says that he hasn't gotten any complaints. Is maybe the people he's delegated to investigate this are reporting to him this information. There are people that haven't received their instructions on how to vote for the reverse split. And so when Adam Aron says, oh, well, in the vote, if it shows that we got more votes than we have shares, then, well, there we go. There's no evidence of synthetic shares. But a lot of people didn't get the chance to vote. So there was that issue. We've had leaks with the dark pools and FINRA that actually showed AMC trading at $6,000 a share up to $140,000 a share. This happened 2-3 months ago, maybe a little longer, but we've seen this. This was posted on Twitter. This was posted on the AMC subreddits. We've seen evidence of the stock trading a lot higher. When you take a look at the on-balance volume, that is still up. That has not gone down since the 2021 run-up. And so when the on-balance volume is showing is that no one has left APE, or no one has left AMC. So how are they finding all these shares to short? How are they finding all these shares to sell at these prices? Right? And you also have the cost to borrow. Cost to borrow has peaked at over 1,000%. So that means these hedge funds, these banks, or these people who are shorting AMC is shorting at 10 times the price. Like, why would they bother shorting these shares for 10 times the cost of these shares? It's absolutely ludicrous. And a lot of the time, this happens when there's like no shares to borrow. But then like the next day, the next couple of days, and we suddenly see 1 million, 2 million shares of AMC suddenly being freed up, which this obviously makes no sense to at least to any of us who have been following this for years. And plus, we have this bogus lawsuit. Obviously, this bogus lawsuit is serving the purpose to delay the reverse split, which is delaying AMC's ability to raise capital, which I'm going to cover a little bit more in detail later. And as I mentioned before, not everyone has received a letter from the court about instructions on how to voice your opinion on the settlement. Much like how a lot of us haven't received instructions on how to vote for the reverse split, or how many of us have not gotten the APE dividend for weeks. I was one of the people who didn't get this letter yet. So there is that. Another thing I haven't written down in this little sketch here is that it can, and it has happened, that companies get naked shorted. we have legal precedent that these companies, these hedge funds, can print synthetic shares. This has happened with Bed Bath & Beyond. I hate the company. I think it's a garbage company. But it doesn't change the fact that they have a lot of people who are printing shares out of thin air. So the DTCC has shares that are way exceeding the float. It's insane. So these are some of the problems that we have with Occam's razor here. This is just Adam Aron having plausible deniability. Of course, you got the second approach, is the doomer approach. Adam Aron is working for the shorts. He is against retail. He and all these little shill posts about how Adam Aron's fucking us over. But there is some cause of concerns for this approach. So he could possibly be bribed to crash AMC. He could be working with the hedge funds. Now here's a few problems. One, he's currently being paid in AMC stock. Like most, if not all, of his paychecks being paid in AMC, and he currently has, well, last I checked, he has like over 800,000 shares, or about 800,000 shares. I mean, this is not impossible for him to be bribed out of his shares if he's being bribed at the current market price, which is like $5 a share. He would be bribed at $4 million if this were the case. But let's say if he had the run up back in 2021 when AMC hit like $60 to $70 a share, he could have been bribed at $48 million a share for AMC. Is that impossible? No. But if he knows, which he should know, that AMC has synthetics. Like, when we take a look at what happened with Volkswagen in 2008, it went up to $1,000 a share. If Adam Aron has 800,000 shares and the MOAS hits and it actually has a run-up of a measly $1,000 per share, which we all know it's not going to stop at $1,000 a share, Ken Griffin would have to bribe him $800 million. Can he afford that? Can these hedge funds actually afford to do that, as well as afford to short these shares at 10 times the cost? How much do you think these guys can afford to bribe Adam Aron? And how much do you think Adam Aron would sell out for if this is the case? So, another issue with this is that Adam Aron has not made really many moves to hurt AMC. Look what he has done. We have popcorn being sold at incredible levels at Walmart. We have credit cards now. And we're probably about to get candy real soon. So these are moves that are helping AMC get out of debt. These are increasing. He is increasing our revenue streams. We have gold. We literally have the gold now with the investments in Highcroft, right? Especially in a economic situation where the dollar is about to collapse, I think that's a really solid investment, in my opinion. There's obviously underperforming locations that he has closed that would have been bleeding AMC's revenue. We have new theaters overseas that he has opened up. I think some in, India, if I recall correctly? India or Iran? I don't remember, but I knew it was in a place where theaters were not really a common thing. But he has been able to push to get AMC actually built in and functioning out there. He has pushed back debt obligations to 2025. And he has been able to pay off some of the debt as well because of all this revenue streams. So, and on top of this, he is physically interacting with the community every chance that he has. He's a CEO, guys. And a lot of CEOs do not do this. They do not interact with their communities. They do not interact with their customers directly. They just don't. A lot of if Adam Aron was a CEO that wants to fuck retail, he would not be putting himself front and center like this. Plus, he's also fighting all the FUD. Remember the bullshit that Robinhood did with AMC when they tried to say that AMC went bankrupt? He lambasted them on Twitter. He is making moves to fight for us. But if he wanted to screw us over, if he wanted the shorts to win, there is the absolute easiest way he could do that is to go woke. Look what happened to Bud Light. They are selling Bud Light at a $15 discount for like almost a 99% discount right now in some stores. There's a store in Indiana that had like this, they had like a 12-pack, maybe it wasn't a 12-pack, maybe like a 24-pack case that would have been $15.99, and they are now selling it for 99 cents. It is absolutely insane how bad going for like this leftist LGBTQ plus diversity garbage policy and marketing. It's absolutely destructive to your company right now. And so many of these other stupid ass companies are going this way. It is nuts. It's like no one wants this woke garbage. You know, if Adam Aron wants to collapse AMC, all they have to do is go woke. They could ban screenings of certain movies. They could create bullshit woke advertisements. They could have a diversity program at their company that literally says they hate whitey. They could do that, but they don't, because Adam Aron is not trying to collapse AMC. However, and I will say this was a grain of salt, there is one actual cause of concern with Adam Aron. He is on the Council of Foreign Relations. And here we are. This is the Council of Foreign Relations website. If you don't know, they are essentially a globalist organization that is like the World Economic Forum in a way. That acts similar and adjacent to the World Economic Forum, with the UN, etc. It hasn't had as much newsworthy recognition since perhaps the Bush administration, but it's still a cause of concern. And here, on the Council for Foreign Relations, as you can see here, we are on the membership roster, and there you go, Adam M. Aron. Adam Maximilian Aron. Is it possible that this could be someone else named Adam Aron? It's possible. I mean, there's a lot of speculation with this particular point. I mean, what relevance does the Council for Foreign Relations have nowadays? Like, what have they done lately? Honestly, there's a lot of I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen anything lately on any of these in any forums or on Twitter or anything about the Council of Foreign Relations, but I do know that they are a globalist organization, just like the World Economic Forum. There has to be more of a looking into with this particular point, because this is the only cause of concern I have with Adam Aron right now. However, I do know if he did want to collapse AMC, this would have been the easiest way to do it. Like, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. I might do some editing after I'm done recording. Giving away beer for free. mock offering $20 rebate on unsold cases worth just $19.98. This wasn't what I was looking at, but the 24 pack. This is like, no one wants to buy this shit anymore because of this trans woke garbage that they've peddled. You know, it's absolutely ludicrous. Now, the third approach I would essentially call the tinfoil hat approach. So, we know that AMC owes debt to a lot of these toxic lenders. And all these loans were made in 2020 during the pandemic. That is why AMC is currently $5 billion in debt to these lenders. Now, we only see what we can see, and that is the $5 billion of debt, as well as the amount of payments that AMC has to make. There is a possibility that there may be unseen agreements with Adam Aron and these lenders. It's possible that Adam Aron may be under some sort of agreement to not speak about naked shorting and not speak about synthetic shares. And because of this, because of the questioning, Adam Aron is trying to stay on the down low and not admit to any of these chicanery that's happening in the markets with his AMC. That may be why he is frustrated when we bring it up, and frustrated because he can't really say anything about it. Now, it doesn't mean that this is a legal issue when it comes to the law, but it could just be a legal issue when it comes to civility and with these agreements. But I don't know if there's any evidence that can support that as of yet. But this is all just, again, all of this is just speculation to begin with. So, there's also the issue of liability when the market crashes. When AMC, GameStop, and a bunch of these other companies, these other meme stocks skyrocket, if the CEOs of these companies who know they're being naked shorted and who know that there are synthetic shares, and if they decided to declare or announce publicly that their companies are naked shorting, and this could cause legal issues in terms of, like, it may give more ground to these hedge funds to sue AMC and these other meme stock companies, as well as the CEOs, and possibly even us in a class action as well. And so it is possible that Adam Aron is trying to protect us apes from liability, because we all know the market's going to crash. We all know it's already a lot worse than 2008. And so, I mean, it's possible that he's just trying to protect our best interests, you know. In the end, the banks need time, and they are buying as much time as they can with this frivolous lawsuit. But there's also the other possibility that, you know, Adam Aron may be threatened. You know, these Epsteiners, these rich motherfuckers who are scamming the markets and scamming us, you know, these people are in bed with fucking Jeffrey Epstein. They're in bed with a lot of these global criminals. You know, JP Morgan Chase is implicated with Jeffrey Epstein. They're also implicated in a lot of cocaine trafficking that's been going on in America. You know, it's a global syndicate of criminals, and Adam Aron is in the forefront of it. And I feel like this is what we have to be mindful of whenever Adam Aron speaks about this naked shorting that's happening as well. Now, the fourth approach I'll call it as the protective dad approach. You know, say you have like a rambunctious teenage boy who's dating your daughter, and you want to make sure he is in line and bringing your daughter back home by 11. So, as a CEO, obviously you want your company to succeed. In most circumstances. There may be an assumption that Adam Aron is feeling, and this assumption is telling him that retail will leave after the mother of all short squeezes. And because of this, he may believe that a post-MOAS crash will hurt AMC. If this, in this approach, he may be against the shorts, but his goal is sustainability, not explosive price action. And this may seem to align a lot more with his statements and with his actions. I mean, I would completely empathize with this. There are a few points against this, though. Adam Aron is the largest shareholder of AMC, and subsequently Ape. He would be able to sell enough of his position not only to retire with millions and millions of dollars, but he could also sell his position to give AMC a boost. And he wouldn't even have to sacrifice his entire position or even a huge chunk of his position in order to accomplish this in the mother of all short squeezes. I mean, sure, he may fear losing a lot of stake in the company, especially when there's a giant run-up of the, or after the MOAS, and when the prices fall back down to what they normally should be. Sure, he may lose some of his stake in the company. It's possible. But Volkswagen had a mother of all short squeezes in 2008. You know, they were originally like, what, 10, 20 bucks per share at the most for like a while. And then all of a sudden it skyrocketed to $1,000 a share. And that was only in 2008. And we're already seeing a crash that's like millions of amplitudes worse than 2008 right now already. So here's the bottom line about the reverse split. And obviously I've been silent about the reverse split for a while, as well as the lawsuit. But in the end, AMC needs to kill the short thesis. They have to get out of debt. They have to raise capital. And that is what Adam Aron is set to do. That is what he has been doing all this time with all these moves to make AMC cash flow positive. These lenders want AMC to crash. I mean, it sounds counterproductive to think. Like, why would you want someone to fail if you're lending them money? I mean, how are they going to pay you back? Well, obviously, if you are short AMC and you lend them these toxic loans that they were forced to take out because their company was collapsing, or their company was doing terribly in the pandemic, then they would be giving them these loans, so they would be bleeding AMC dry with interest, right? And because they're short, they don't want AMC to pay back, because they could just recover all their position and a lot more by shorting AMC if AMC crashes and if AMC goes bankrupt. Talk about cash flow positive already. But this but becoming cash flow positive and paying off all this debt means this will put tremendous pressure for Marge to call. So it doesn't guarantee that the shorts will close their positions on AMC if they become cash flow positive. I mean, we've seen so much chicanery in the markets already. But it puts a lot more pressure on them, certainly. Now, regardless of whether you voted yes or no, I mean, at the end of the day, we just have to hold. I mean, I voted yes because I want AMC to get out of these toxic loans and these other potentially destructive agreements that's holding AMC back. But, I mean, with the post-reverse split, Now, regardless of whether we voted yes or no on the reverse split, at the end of the day, we hold, right? Until the shorts close their positions, we should be holding. There's no reason to exit out of this position, if not financial advice, by the way, when the short positions are still active. Now, some other things to concern. Adam Aron can still dilute post-reverse split. This will only be required if AMC cannot cover debts. Which, in my opinion, is why this lawsuit was initiated. I mean, because AMC is still bleeding from the debt obligations that they have to pay back. The shorts are trying to stall as long as they can. And if Adam Aron is forced to dilute any further post-reverse split, it's going to give even more shares that the shorts will be using to cover. So, if AMC cannot get out of its debt obligations, then AMC may have to dilute once again, which would be terrible for us. Now, the QSIP change, there's no guarantee that it's going to force shorts to close. The DTCC, the SEC, all these agencies that try to regulate the financial markets are doing it in a way that's fucking us over, and it's allowing the shorts to continue their bullshit money laundering scheme. The only thing that will force these bastards to close their shorts is the economic collapse. When the banks turn on one another and we have the economic collapse, they're going to start getting margin called, and then they'll be forced to close their positions. And that is the only way that we will be able to trigger this MOAS. And it's really not something that we can control other than just buying and holding. That is all our influence can really do to help support the mother of all short squeezes. We are seeing this already. Banks are closing their they had the loss of 3 banks a couple weeks ago exceeded that of 2008, and all that happened in 1 week. 722 banks have liabilities over 50% of their deposits. We have the housing crash that's going to happen soon. We have the 2 quadrillion derivatives bubble. And we have the issue with the debt ceiling, as well as the emergency reserves of our oil. And we also have of course, global recession, the global depression, actually. And when that happened in 2008, we know the mother of all short squeezes is bound to happen, because Volkswagen in 2008 went from single digits to $1,000 a share. So we know this is bound to happen with AMC. We know this is going to happen with GameStop, as well as other businesses that are being shorted into oblivion. So, in the end, to summarize my personal thoughts, AMC is in good hands with Adam Aron. If Adam Aron was on the side of the shorts, then he would have collapsed this company a long, long time ago. He would have initiated some woke policies and did everything that Bud Light was trying to do until Heisenweier Bush is basically going on the brink of bankruptcy because of their stupid marketing decision. AMC could have done just that if Adam Aron was on the side of the enemy. But he isn't. So I still have trust in him. I may not agree with all of his positions or all of his stances on everything. He may be saying some of these things because of all the different variety of reasons which I laid out. But in the end, there are a lot of things about him that are questionable. That is for certain. However, I don't think there's enough to show that he's fighting against us, which is why I am in favor of the reverse split. I want Adam Aron to continue. I want this lawsuit to end already, because the longer this lawsuit goes on, the longer it's going to take for AMC to raise capital, and the more it delays the mother of all short squeezes. So, will the reverse split cause the mother of all short squeezes? Maybe, maybe not. But I feel like it's still a helpful move, with or without the mother of all short squeezes. Remember, we're here to invest in AMC. We were all here to rescue it from the brink of collapse during the lockdowns. So let's continue to support AMC. Let's continue to give Adam Aron our blessing. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Take him or leave him. But in the end, what do I know? I'm just a crayon eating ape. All right, y'all have a good one.